What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Man to Man podcast. As always, I'm Nick Salmon here with my boy Sparty. We're gonna get into a good episode today. Been off for a little bit, but Sparty, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just got back. Oh, I guess it's been a couple weeks, but I just got back from Europe and had a great time out there. Getting ready to get back in the swing of things.
I
How
know
about
this dude said not much. I just got
you?
back. What'd you do out there?
Yeah, I went to. I hit a couple countries. What did I hit? I hit Spain, Netherlands, and I went to Tomorrowland, which was fucking unbelievable. Good time, great time.
King of Tomorrowland, literally.
Yeah, yeah. I posted a photo on my personal Instagram. What was it? I was in the middle of a rave, and for those of you who don't know, Tomorrowland is this big European rave. But I was in the middle of a rave, and I saw these three massive like Russian dudes, and I'm just having a good time. I go up to them. I'm like, "Yo, can you put me on your shoulders or whatever?" And they start speaking Russian to each other. They're like, "Huh, huh." And I'm like, what does this mean? Like, what's going on? It's like, yeah. So I see two dudes squat down. I put my foot on his shoulder, or on one guy on the left shoulder, and then the other guy on the right. And they both lift me up and squat me, and then they have another dude from behind holding me straight up. So I'm in the air, right? Just they're like kind of up in there, like they're holding me up like a king. And Tomorrowland, God, I don't know how many people go to that show. They have probably 250,000 people at main stage. Yeah, and all of a sudden I just hear everybody in the crowd just go bonkers, just like cheering, like going like crazy, and I just got this fucking high where I'm just like let's go, let's go. So
The video was sick, dude. I was like, only you, only Sparty.
yeah, so it was sick. I felt like I was in a war or something, and like just pumping everyone up, but it was sick. It was fucking awesome. That was a hell of an experience.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like an awesome time. That's something that I'll end up having to go to. It just seems like an experience that you need to have at least once. That's how many times have you been?
It's my second time. I'm gonna go next year for sure. The thing about Tomorrowland is it's very unique in the sense that unity is it's just so you'll never see unity like it because you can hear in the United States you hear like people arguing about politics or people getting mad about random shit or whatever, but in Tomorrowland and maybe in the whole dance music community altogether is you have every single country in the world and everybody is just sweet to each other. Everyone wants to know about what your country's like, type of food, just want to connect and learn and just be happy. And it's just like one of the most unique experiences. I recommend everyone do it once if they can do it. It's hard to get a ticket, obviously, but it's so unique. It'll change your life. It really will. You'll
Yeah.
never see unity like that.
It's amazing, man. It shows you like real on authenticity in the world because I think we get so stuck in the bullshit narratives of like the news
Yeah.
and the media, and it's like you go to meet. That was the same thing. I was just talking to a buddy that's like a friend for life now. I went to a business mastermind that was in Ireland, and
Yeah.
then I had met these dudes in Cancun the year before or 2 years
Yeah.
prior. It's been 3 years now, and from Scotland. So I was like, I'm in Ireland, and then we already coordinated this trip. So then I just like flew over to Scotland, and it was happened to be his engagement party that weekend too, so it all lined up perfect. And it's like, man, you meet all these people from different sides of the world, and all they want to do is be like hospitable and like learn about you and like take you around and show you a good time. And that's the
Yeah.
best.
Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, the Europeans, it's just I think they're a little more welcoming than in the U.S. in the sense that they're like if you're ever in my country, we'll hold you, we'll feed you, we'll do whatever. And I think it's a little different over. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's more some places around here are like that, but with them, they're so used to it because I think travel within Europe is a little more common, so
Yeah,
they're very welcoming in that
very,
sense.
very cultured as well, you know.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, it's a fun area. I mean, you tell me, you probably had a blast in Europe when you were there.
It was cool. I didn't get to experience it how you did. It was October as well, so I wish going back it'd be like I want to do like Spain, Greece. What city is Tomorrowland or what country?
It's in Belgium. It's in right outside of Brussels in a small town called Boom. And
Got it.
so you fly into Brussels and yeah, so it's a little small town, but it's just built for the whole city or town is built specifically for that festival. And I read somewhere that the festival generates like 85% of the country's revenue, which is
Dude,
crazy.
that's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you, man, we're pretty ungrateful sometimes, so this light keeps popping off. But
Right.
yeah. So, dude, we
Yeah.
got a pretty awesome quote for the day. If you don't mind me reading it out real quick.
Yeah.
So, masculinity isn't about dominance or noise. It's about quiet control, discipline, and the courage to carry responsibility when it would be easier to run. What does that quote mean to you, Spotty?
Yeah. So I think the most dominant masculine men are the ones who they don't try to show it off. So I think in this world today, especially with social media, it's an attention seeking, attention grabbing community. So how can I be more masculine than you? Or how can I stick out on my Instagram story? Or how can I stick out on my Snapchat story? How can I grab attention, right? How can I be better than the next person? Well, the most masculine man doesn't have to portray that per se. He just acts. He just acts. So when something happens that's in a difficult time, right? He just kind of does his actions. Oftentimes, one of the things that you'll see is a man who does community service. I'm just giving a straight example, right? Man who does a community service, it's a good cause, obviously, but he wants to post on his social media how he helps I don't know, save 200 puppies from an orphan from Tijuana or something like that, right? He has to brag and portray it. The masculine man doesn't feel the need to do that. He understands what he did was a good thing, the masculine thing, but he's not seeking attention. He's not seeking approval from everyone else. He's doing it for himself because he knows that's what needs to be done. So he's not looking for anyone else's opinion. He's doing it for himself. He's doing it for his family. That's what that means to me.
Yeah. No, that's spot on too. And just in reading it again, masculinity is about dominance or noise. It's never the loudest guy in the room. It is the quiet, composed, wise, slow to talk, slow to respond. They digest what's going on. They don't listen to react, they listen to respond. And I think the most strong men in my life have been ones that have like practiced like the two ears, one mouth, and you're dominant in the way that you carry yourself. You don't have to be the biggest, baddest dude in the room. You don't have to be the loudest. You don't have to be the strongest to be the most powerful motherfucker in the room. And I've always believed that.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting, and that's such a great point, right? You don't have to be the most powerful person in the room, and I think what you say really resonates when you say two ears, one mouth, right? So I think in nowadays, when you have a conversation, we'll say you have a difficult conversation with a girl, maybe a client, right, or maybe your boss, whomever, right? And if you pause and not talk for 10 seconds because you want to process what you want to say, that's a masculine move, right? Because you're taking your time, you're responding on your terms, and you're saying the right things. You're not being emotional, you're processing with your logical brain. I think in society, people feel pressure to respond immediately. So then it comes off as emotional. If you take a deep breath in a difficult conversation, you say, hey, listen, I'm going to think for a second before I respond. And then you start talking. That's a masculine move. That's a masculine move. So it's being able to process your emotions, process your thoughts, and exuding them in a proper way.
100%. When you said emotional, that was like one thing that like kicked into gear. Like that was like the light bulb moment that went off. Because that's something that I've been like sitting on when you were talking about it. That's the one thing I was thinking about. Because when you're trying to portray dominance or you're trying to be noisy, most of the time it's like beta behavior. You're emotional, you're loud, you're trying to portray yourself as something that you're not. And it kind of reminds me of a situation because I've known you, what, like 4 years at this point.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
about a year and a half ago, I don't know, we're talking about a certain situation that you're in where it's like you're almost playing chess. There's a situation that you know you want to, and you know what I'm talking about too. I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. So, and I'll briefly talk about the situation. So, obviously, what I do, I'm a relationship coach and everything, and I have a strict no contact rule, right? And It was
Very strict.
very, very
Very
strict. I'm very,
strict.
very, very stubborn, but I am human at the same time, right? So there was a situation about a year ago where I was dating this chick, didn't end the best, and something transpired in her life, and I just didn't know whether or not I wanted to reach out to her because it was the humane thing would be to reach out in this specific situation. So I had to sit on it, and I didn't make a decision right away, but it took me a week and a half to determine whether or not I should reach out or not reach out. So at the end of the day, I made my decision, and it was the most logical decision that I came and concluded in my brain after discussing with certain people. I've processed through my mind. I journaled and all that stuff because it was at the time for me it was very, very difficult. But I was playing mental chess and trying to unloop my tangled up brain. But rather than make an emotional decision, I made a logical decision at the end of the day, and I do not regret the decision that I made.
Yeah. Sometimes
So I
it's
felt it
hard.
was the best at
Yeah.
the time. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes it's hard not to just give into your impulsive thoughts, impulsive desires, impulsive. Again, I mean, like you have like your rational brain, like your pre, yeah, can you say prefrontal cortex, and then you
right,
have like your amygdala. Your amygdala is like the fight or flight. I'm emotional. I'm reactive. I'm gonna say whatever I think. I'm gonna do whatever I do. It's our impulse. Prefrontal cortex, it takes a little bit longer to kick back in, and it's how we rationalize things. That's when we're sitting and we're thinking and we're pondering, and that's like our personality. So when you tap back into it, it's like, okay, you know what? I may be a little bit stubborn, but what is the right thing to do versus like, oh my God, I just feel this thing. I'm going to do this thing. So it's big of you. So, I mean, I'm sure that situation ended up really, really good because the outcome was the most rational. It was a long played out move, how you're going to do it. And it's not a game. We're not telling the viewers that this is a game.
yeah,
But what we are saying is when it comes time that you guys are going to have like a hard situation in life and you guys are going to and you're going to have multiple, it is better to sit on it than to just jump and make decisions. There are times where you have to make decisions right away, but when it comes to a very specific decision that you need to make the right decision and you need to do it in the right time frame. It's very important.
right, yeah. And what you're going to realize is oftentimes you are going to have to make quick decisions, but being able to compartmentalize what needs to be a quick decision and what actually deserves some thought to it, that's what you need to be able to do. And there's going to be certain situations where you need to take some time to think, right? So maybe buying a house, you're not going to buy the first house you see, are you? No, you want to take some time to think about it. Or maybe you're going to have a difficult conversation, maybe you're going to quit your job. You got to think, like, do I really want to do this, or my boss yelled at me one time, do I just get up and pack my bags and go? I mean, you got to think about these things, and anything significant that could close a chapter of the book of you, right? You are the main character in your story. Anytime a chapter could be closed, you really got to spend some time to think about it and
Yeah.
tell yourself, is this the right move?
Yeah. 100%. I think I can't remember the exact quote that we had last podcast, but it was basically like a man that falls into his impulses as a slave to his desires.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I mean it's the same thing where it's like, no man, I run this shit. You know what I mean? It's not like, whatever my brain or impulse wants, because then you're letting your impulses and your desires and your instant gratification dictate how your life is going to go, your life path. But if it's ultimately up to you and your thought out processes and the wisdom that you've got through life, it is ultimately always going to be in your hands. And that's a powerful frame. And that's what we're saying is like slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And it's not dominance or noise. You are dominant because you are in control of your own life and you are taking the time to make the right decisions. That's key.
Correct. Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. And that's again, it goes back to our quote today too. It's you're making the right decisions. And decisions, I can't tell you how important making good decisions are. One decision can change your life forever. Think about it. One decision can change your life forever. You can make one move can change your life forever. So it's important to make good decisions, but it's also important to take action on those decisions, make sure that you're putting your full on effort in. And one thing I think behind a lot of my personal decisions is Is this going to help my self respect or is it going to decrease it?
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that you need to have in life for sure is self respect. You absolutely need that, and if you're hurting your self respect, then it's not a good thing. And everything you do can either help or hurt your self respect. So whatever food you put in your body, that's a decision. But if you're gonna go eat that chocolate bar and you're gonna eat it every day, is that self respectful to yourself?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
It's micro decisions you have every day.
right. And we make 100,000 decisions a day. You know, you could theoretically get off this podcast and go run in the middle of the street butt naked if you wanted to, but it's your decision to stay and continue to talk to me, right? You could do you're making unconscious decisions all the time. So that's why habit building is also important too. So you want to make decisions that are supporting good habits as well. And we all have bad habits; they happen, but
Yeah.
it comes from bad decisions, right? So
Every time. Every time. And those habits, I mean, people don't even realize it's like it's so easy to stack bad habits and it's so easy to fall off of good ones. It's just how the body works. The path of least resistance, your brain is a survival organ. It wants you to survive, and it's going to do absolutely everything in its power to stay away from pain and go towards pleasure. And that's
mhm.
naturally how we're wired. So critical, critical to beat that factor.
Think about it. Like a bad habit is scrolling on your phone. You have Instagram and you scroll and you're consuming content. It's a
Yeah.
bad habit, right? It's just going to trigger procrastination. So it's like that. It's like you're a personal trainer or you're a coach, right? You know how quickly it is to fall off track with your body. If you don't work out for 2 to 3 weeks, you're fucked. You know, you're not going to be as strong. You might not, your body might not totally collapse, but you're not nearly as strong as you were. You're not maybe as lean as you were. It's easy to fall off it, and getting to a peak physical condition, it's hard to get there. It's hard to get there, but it's a lot easier to lose.
100%. No question. So, um, dude, we actually had some pretty sweet questions coming in for some from some viewers. I don't know if you wanted to
Yeah, I'll start
start
off the.
those bad boys.
Yeah, so the first question was, hey guys, I keep hearing about toxic masculinity, but I also hear people talk about healthy masculinity. How do I know which one I'm practicing in my own life? Do you want to take that?
That's a great one for you.
For me, yeah. So I'll start off. So there's the difference between toxic masculinity and healthy masculinity. I think toxic masculinity, if you've ever followed the red pill community, I think that portrays does a lot of toxic masculinity. Women are shit. They're bad people. They're evil at heart. Blah blah blah. And guys have to come totally control everything. It promotes some bad behavior. I think healthy masculinity is what you would ideally see a father figure, right? Someone who's willing to take control, willing to lead, willing to protect, willing to provide, but also caring for women, caring for the people in his social circle or his inner circle, just caring and wanting to be there for them. And I think a lot of times toxic masculinity is overdriven with social media. I mean, you see a lot of shit on social media, don't you? Just like guys saying, "Oh, women are shit," or "Women aren't allowed to make any decisions," or "They shouldn't vote," blah blah blah. Well, no, women are people too, and they have to have a say in. They're allowed to have an opinion. Maybe you're the final. If you're married and you have a wife, she might put an idea in your brain, but you can be you can be the one who makes the final decision, right? But she's allowed to have an opinion. What she says matters. So there's a difference between total control and running a household.
Yeah. I think that's well said. When I immediately think of like toxic masculinity, the first thing that I think of is wounding that hasn't been healed. I think
Mm,
of just projecting that hurt, you know what I mean, into hatred for women. And
yeah.
really, I mean, it kind of comes down to self-hatred. I don't, it's like I don't like my experiences with women or in life or dating in general. And so I'm just gonna say like, fuck everybody, fuck them all. I mean, fuck girls, fuck women, like it sucks. When in reality, it's like there are a lot of great women out there still to this day. There's a lot of bad women and men, you know what I mean? But it takes like you becoming your, and my company is called Better Self. I fully believe in small incremental changes that change you over time. But the biggest thing is like becoming your better self, becoming a better version of yourself. So when you get out there, the dating pool is better. But if you completely shut down, you never heal, and you just layer on this fucking shit on top of shit, you know what I mean? Trying to look tougher on the outside, but still being that broken dude who got fucking crushed in, you know, when he was 25 years old, you know what I mean? Like you're always going to be that person unless you heal, unless you forgive, unless you move on. Because if we continue to be the men that we were through our worst times, we are going to continue to set ourselves up for the absolute worst life and the worst versions of ourselves. So I think healing from the things that you've been through, and I think thinking, what's the lesson in this? We're both Christians. What's the lesson in this? What is God trying to teach me? Because life is hard. Life's going to hit you in the fucking mouth. It's not going to wait till you feel better, and it's going to hit you one more fucking time. And then it's gonna just keep going, man. Life is not easy, but you have to learn and you have to heal, and that all comes, wisdom comes from life experience. So in the lesson or in the moment in the storm when you're going through it, think of what is this trying to teach me instead of like fuck all of this, fuck all of this. Why is this happening to me?
Yeah, that's really well said. And I want to add to that is it comes down to taking responsibility, right? So a lot of people don't want to. I can't tell you how many people don't take responsibility. It's her fault. Like I
For
got
sure.
dumb, or
Yeah.
it's her fault. Like she don't want to sleep with me. Like
Fuck that bitch. Yeah, it's like stupid.
she's an idiot. Like oh, I make all this money, or I'm ripped. Blah blah blah.
Well,
Yeah,
bro, you flat out turned her off or something. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Exactly. I mean, dude, not every girl in the world is gonna want to date you. Realistically, I mean, she has to have her guards up of some sort. I mean, how many dudes are hitting on her every day? She probably gets 100 DMs a day. So how are you going to separate yourself? And you will. I mean, again, it's not. I'm not saying it's easy to hit on girls. It's not that easy. I mean, you have to separate yourself. You have to make yourself look not like a creep. You got to position yourself in the right way, right? She's naturally going to have her guard up. So again, part of it though is if she's not attracted to you, there's something that you did wrong, right? At some point, right? Maybe it was a small mistake, maybe it was a tiny mistake, but somewhere you might have fucked up. Now, is what she is maybe you're in a relationship and she dumps you out of nowhere, right? Maybe it was totally unjust. Maybe you made one tiny mistake and you did thousands of great things throughout the relationship. And maybe you didn't make the bed. She asked you to make the bed, you didn't, and then she dumped you. Is it fair? No, probably not. But you still made a mistake in that moment. Small mistake, yes, but you can take responsibility for it. But at the same time, you want to take a healthy amount of responsibility. You can't let it come to the point where you lose your self respect. So you got to let her own her shit, and you can own your own personal shit as well. So that comes with taking responsibility.
Yeah, 100% knocks it out of the park, dude. Got to be accountable. Got to be accountable to grow, bro.
And most people don't want to do that though. I say it, but most people don't believe in personal development, or they're content. Video games all day. That's totally cool with me. Not trying to get better at it. I feel like I say this a lot, and I preach a lot in my videos, but they don't want to grow. They don't want to read some books that could potentially help them out. They don't want to take action on leadership because they think what they're doing is fine. What we what we know is limited, and what we know or what we could know and what we can learn is limitless, right? So we can
Yeah.
always grow better to the day of our last breath.
And you have to. Neuroplasticity is a very real thing, and I talk about it in other videos, but just the neurons that fire together wire together. And over time, you can change your brain and who you are and your personality. And that's fucking exciting to anybody who's going through it right now is like, you don't have to stay here. The only reason that you would stay in the situation that you are in that you hate is because you are doing nothing to change, which starts from accountability.
Yep. And no one's coming to save you.
That's huge. That is huge. And you know what? You tell your loser story to yourself enough, those neurons are firing and wiring together. And you are starting to live that fucking victim mindset that you are portraying yourself as.
Right? You know? And I think about it too. It's if you're a single guy, for example, and you don't have a girlfriend or you're not getting any action, you don't have a rotation, whatever, you can lose your confidence from not having any female attention, right? So you can get in a negative mindset and really, really lose your confidence. But you got to remember the one thing you can control is what you're thinking. You can control what your thoughts are. Sometimes you have two sides of the brain. You have the emotional and the logical, right? The emotional brain, oh, I haven't gotten any girls in 4 months. Like, no girls looked in my direction. Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. And you can play the sorry story, or you can overlap that and strengthen the logical brain muscle and think, no girl for 4 months has impressed me yet. No girl has qualified my mental standards yet. I'm excited to meet her, but I'm still a badass just because I haven't gotten any action for 4 months. You can still train your brain in that logical muscle to remind yourself that, yeah, I'm the fucking shit. I'm the truth. I don't care that I haven't gotten laid in 4 months. Fuck it. I'm
Yeah.
good. You know? So that's important too. You can train that part of the brain. You can control your thoughts. So it's common though. People will play the sad story and they can't get out of that fog, that
Yeah.
loop.
Yeah. And it's tough. I have been there. You know what I mean? I have, and it will compound. You know what I mean? Which it's not easy because like when you're in the midst of it, it's you keep continuing to make the same mistakes, and then you're like, of course this happened. Like it's whatever story you tell yourself, whatever your subconscious is always listening.
Yeah.
So it's whatever story you're telling yourself, it's the self-loathing, it's the self-hatred, it's oh my God, I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen. No shit, bro. You said 500 times that you hate yourself or you're bad with women or
Yeah.
yada yada yada. Of course you're gonna get shut down. It's just oozing out of you. It's your persona now. And these things become habits, how you start to think, and then it just becomes
Yep.
a personality, becomes a lifestyle. Just like you start to eat bad food every now and then. I start to eat it a couple more days, and then guess what? You eat like shit all the time because it's your lifestyle. Same thing with personality traits, same thing with dating, women, working out, whatever. It all is about the human psyche.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true, and it's very important to be aware of this and be able to register this. So when these thoughts do happen, that you're able to overcome because they're natural. I mean, emotions are natural. You're gonna feel sad. You're gonna feel happy. You're gonna be hungry, horny, whatever, right? But they're gonna come and go, and you just gotta recognize, okay, this is emotion. This is feedback. But how do I overcome this? How do I get out of this state, right? And you gotta remember, think with a logical brain. You blink. You okay? This is just temporary. I'll be good. I'm still the man. I'm still crushing it. I still have this. I still have a good body. I still have a great vision ahead of me. I still have amazing friends. I got some family in my support system. I'm just going down a little bit of a bad slide. We're gonna turn this up soon though. We'll be okay. We'll be good.
dude, 100%. 100%.
So let's
Um,
move to the next question. You ready?
yeah,
So the next one is, let's see. This one, it says discipline feels impossible with all the distractions today. How can a man stay focused and masculine in a world built on comfort? You want to take that one?
yeah. Discipline will feel impossible when you don't have it at all, when you're not practicing discipline. So you kind of answer your own question in that way because understand that you know the root of it. When you are letting in all these distractions, list them out. What distractions? Be specific. Is it you're on your phone? Is it porn? Is it that you're overeating? Is it that you're talking to too many girls? Cut this shit out. Get clear on what it is that you want. And then on the other side, what are the distractions that are preventing me from getting there? And then it's a clear thing. Do you want it bad enough to get rid of these distractions? Or are you loving these distractions enough that you're willing to forego this life that you want? And that's going to be critical because the more clear you get on the plan, the more clear that you are. I mean, it's like going into a fucking football game. It's Saturday. We're getting ready to play, whoever on Sunday. NFL, whatever. We're kicking off the year this year. You don't go into it without preparation. You go into it knowing exactly like, hey, this is going to be our game plan. This is probably what they're going to run. So this is our fight against it. So you have to go into it with the plan. You can't just like on a whim be like, I'm just going to be disciplined today. What does discipline mean? What is the goal that you want? And what is discipline going to, where is it going to get you to? Because if that outcome or that goal is strong enough, the distractions don't fucking matter. And you need to pretty much weaponize yourself with knowing what the distractions are so you can game plan them out. That's going to be my biggest fucking thing. And just being masculine, staying focused and being masculine in a world of comfort. The second part of it, understand this, where you're lacking in those areas and understand where you want to be. If it's sitting on the couch eating fucking potato chips, guess what? Most of the time we know what we need to do, we just don't do it.
It's true, and it's so well said. That was so well said. The what really resonates with what you just said to me was the whole planning it out, because that's so important. And if you just got to take a day, maybe it's a Sunday, maybe it's every day, once a month, maybe it's every week, strategize your life, right? You got to start somewhere, and maybe you don't have a 1 year plan, maybe you don't have a 5 year plan, maybe you don't have a 10 year plan yet, but start off with a 10 year plan. Where do you want to see yourself in 10 years, right? And that might change in a month, it might change in a week, whatever, right? But I would start today. Take a Sunday, take a day off, whatever, whenever you have some time, take a 2 3 hours. Where do you want to be in 10 years? And you break it down. So that's the top of the mountain. The top of the mountain is your ideally where you'd be in 10 years. And then down the mountain, just kind of list out how you would get there, right? And you really drive into the weeds of each distraction is. Maybe it's Instagram on your phone. Maybe like you said, the girl situation. Maybe you're just chasing girls on Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever, right? Maybe you're DMing girls. Maybe it's the junk food thing, right? So if you were going to design your perfect life, list out all the things that are preventing you from getting there: potato chips, porn, candy, aimless loser friends that you're hanging out with who smoke weed all day. I mean, these are things that matter, right? Maybe it's partying till 5 a.m. and you're ruining the next day, right? You got to list out everything. And I'm not saying that you can't party till 5 a.m. once in a while, but if it's going to prevent you from getting to your ultimate goal, then I would stop doing that every weekend, right? So you got to find out what the distractions are. What's preventing you from getting there? And you'll realize once you start to list everything out, you're like, shit, I didn't even realize this was a distraction. Shit, my buddy calls me for half an hour a day about pointless bullshit. Maybe I shouldn't answer. I can't call him. I can't talk to him every day. That's a half hour that you could have been putting into making music if you wanted to be a musician, or maybe your business, right? So you got to figure out what is the distractions, and you also got to figure out what's important to you. And I'm not saying like brotherhood isn't important; it's very important. But you also want to find like-minded people who might challenge you. You see what they're doing, and you're like, shit, I got to do that. Oh, my buddy's in the gym every day. Maybe I should be in the gym every day. Or, oh, my buddy's working until 8 p.m. every day. Maybe that's what I should be doing. I'm not where he's at, but I want to be kind of where he's at, or I want to be better than what he's at, or I want to, I want to match his energy, and that's important. So, what you said, strategizing, calendars, all that shit is very, very important. You should just take it. I try to do that once a week personally.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's the same people that give into their constant distractions who don't know their distractions that say, I don't have enough time. I just don't have enough time. It's always those same people. And once they realize how much time is cutting into their lives and how much time they're wasting, it hits them really, really hard when they find out.
Look at your phone. Look at your screen time.
Phew, that's a big one.
Look at your. I'm telling you, I did it the other day. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
lot. And that's from
uh,
coming from a dude who's not really on social media all like that.
I know I don't use social media, but dude, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that. Granted,
yeah, man.
I'm listening to music, but like it helps me focus. But dude, I can promise you, if I'm listening to music, I'm probably scrolling at some point while I'm switching the song.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Check out YouTube Shorts for a second, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, look how many shorts I watched. It's
Yeah,
bad. It's you look at your screen time, and it should wake you up.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's some scary shit, man. It's some scary shit. So the phone is a big distraction. I don't know. Maybe it's just throwing the phone away while you work for 8 hours. Don't look at it. unless you absolutely need to for an email or something. But that's one of the biggest distractions nowadays. And I'm telling you, those quick dopamine hits, those get people. And it's hard to prevent them because the brain wants, it searches, we were talking about it earlier, it searches for dopamine any way possible.
Yeah, 100%.
So, okay, so let's move to question 3. This one says, is masculinity something natural, or is it something a man has to build for himself over time? I think it's a great question.
This is a great question.
I'll start off by taking it if you don't mind.
No?
So, masculinity is semi natural, I think, personally. You can cut in. I think masculinity, you're more masculine the older you get. And why do I say that? It's just because you experience more wisdom, more shit happens to you. If you have lived an easy life, are you really going to be that masculine? You need to have challenge. You need to have struggle. You need to experience difficult times. You need to experience getting your ass dumped. You need to experience having someone close to you pass away. You need to experience that because by the time you're a father, your children are going to be looking up to you for advice. And you're going to lead by example. And when difficult times happen, how you handle them is what shows how masculine you are, right? And sometimes maybe at first, like let's just say you're in high school and you're 16, you start dating this girl, and you guys graduate, she goes off to college, and then she meets a guy on the quarterback of the football team, and you get dumped, right? You're not going to feel great, and you might not handle that correctly, but you're either going to grow from it or you're going to sit and wallow. So you have the decision to, I'm going to fucking pick myself up and be better, or I'm just gonna play video games and just cry for a little bit. Not really gonna change much, but that's just gonna be that, right? So you can take the painful experience and utilize it for your better self, and you can grow from masculinity. So masculinity is something that is learned over time. And it's constantly evolving, and you can always be increasing it. That's my take on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's kind of the same thing with like, it's kind of when you talk about it, it's just like that natural swagger where it's like some dudes like just grew up with more of it without having to like earn it. Then
Yeah,
same thing with like talent, skill, anything. People are born with certain traits, but we all have that certain sort of masculinity naturally.
yeah,
But I mean, I don't know. There are some goofy ass dudes who you like do wonder. But for the sake of the conversation and the question, yes. For the average person, average man, you are born with it. But life will guide you on its own trajectory. But you need to make sure that you're making the right choices. And then again, like you were saying, Spotty, like we make thousands of choices subconsciously a day. How do we get to the point where our autopilot habits and our lifestyle and personality is that of masculine traits? And it just takes time. It's like, who were you raised by? What were the influences in your life? Who did you look up to as a kid? These all matter. So we really need to start by, obviously this kid at probably 19, 20 years old, probably just trying to figure out the world. So at this point in time, you are still at a very like vulnerable state to who you listen to. You know what I mean? So you don't want to fall too into the red pill community, but guys that think like rational human beings, like men, look up to like good leaders. And that's like the best advice that I could give is yes. But it's like a muscle, it's like anything. You know what I mean? You need to strengthen your masculinity and you need to make it autopilot habits to be masculine and true
yeah.
masculine.
That's so well said. Yeah, and it goes down to habits too. And you're right. Who you're influenced by certainly matters. So if you were raised by a single mom, then you're not going to maybe have the most masculine frame growing up. I remember when I was growing up and I was in high school, my dad was traveling a lot. So my mom was oftentimes the only one that it was basically getting risen by a single mom in a sense. So I had to work on some things, and I'm still working on some things, right? But I had to work on some traits to overcome. Some maybe my natural habit was just to be the quiet guy and not say what's on his mind. I had to build my confidence up over time to get on a YouTube platform, for example, or I had to build to even have the courage to speak to a girl, or not even a girl, but speak to a stranger in the street to ask them the time, right? So it takes time to build it. Nobody has the same life. Everyone has a different life trajectory. So maybe you were born and you had your dad was a police officer and he ran the household and he taught you what masculinity was and he was home all the time and he was structured and all that stuff and he taught you how to be a man. You might have a better advantage, but you can still grow, right? There's still opportunities to grow. You might just have a head start,
Yeah.
right? So that's important. And being aware of the decisions that you make, like what's making me more masculine and what's not. If I'm hesitating on where we want to go to dinner and then I pop it off, where do you want to go, baby? Like, why don't you make the choice? That's not very masculine. She wants you to choose the dinner. She wants
Yeah.
you to choose the movie. She wants you to choose what you guys are going to do. She doesn't want to make the decision for you. She doesn't want to book the restaurant. She doesn't want to suggest, yeah, she doesn't want to make all the plans, right? So you got to figure out what is masculine and what is not masculine. And basically, masculine is just being able to be the leader of the household when it's all said and done.
100%, dude. Spot on. That's good advice, and I think hopefully he'll take it and run with it. So,
Yeah, yeah, it'll be fine. And again, when you're young, I think a part of it is just you're still learning, right? You're still learning at the end of the day, and the more life experiences you have, you'll learn from them, and you'll be more adapt to know how to handle each and every situation. Now, I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect, and sometimes life will throw some fucking weird shit at you. But with your experiences, you can kind of take those and do what the best you can is.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Spot on, brother. Seriously. Do you have
Yeah.
anything closing?
No, I mean, I'm again glad we're back. It's been a little bit, but we are going to get back on the swing of things. We've both had some travel plans and things going on in our personal lives, and kind of got off schedule. But we're going to get back to it, and just want the viewers to know that we're going to be consistent with this, and we look forward to hanging out and joining with you guys. And don't hesitate to write into us. We will answer all questions, leave comments on the channel, and we hope to speak soon.
100%. We appreciate all you guys. Thank you for coming to the Man to Man podcast. We will be back week after week for you guys, we promise. So we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.
Peace.